Yo, people, I'm your host, Major. I'm with my brother Ace, and we are back for another episode of Two Up Front. Ace, what you telling me, bro?
Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful
Mm,
weekend. I can't ask for
mm,
more. I can't wait to get
mm,
into this. Let us talk football.
mm.
Let us
You know
talk.
what's great? I think there's been a lot of brilliant games this weekend.
There has been,
Obviously
bro.
Chelsea, Wolves. There was
Goals
the
galore.
Villa Arsenal game, of course. You
Beautiful,
know.
beautiful.
Newcastle, Bournemouth, Spurs, Everton, like a lot of brilliant games, like we could even talk about Madrid, there was Barca.
United
Now it's got,
Villa.
huh? Huh?
Oh, I said United Villa. Oh God,
Huh?
sorry, I meant United Brighton. United Brighton.
What are you
Don't miss
talking
that.
about,
Don't miss
bro?
that, bro. Don't miss
What are you
that,
talking,
bro. I saw
bro?
you try to go across Europe.
Bro,
Please
I
keep it
was
at
trying
home.
to talk. Did you see your mouse go? And
Oh yeah,
bro,
no, bro. He's actually
just
making that finish. He's
yeah,
like his thing, that outside the box. But let's
man.
not get distracted.
Hey, man.
United Brighton, what a
Hey,
game! Did you
bro.
see?
Bro,
Did you see Welbeck in that game, bro? Hey
bro,
man, let's talk
you
about it.
see, this
Talk
this is
about it.
what I think the problem is. We
Talk to me.
focus too much on the Premier League. We need to
Mm.
venture. We need to venture. We need to expand. Like,
I agree, bro.
why do we want to just always talk about everything that's going on here? Like, do you get me? I say we just switch it up for this
Oh
episode.
no, you know what?
That's what I'm
Because we're
saying.
smart men.
That's
That's
what
why
I'm
we have
saying.
the Thursday episode. Because that's when we do the
Uh,
European debrief. But on the
Okay.
Sunday episode, which like as of today, we usually
Mm,
focus on the Premier League. So
yeah,
I see what you tried to do though, but it was a
bro,
nice attempt, but not on my watch. I'm not gonna let you
bro,
get past me. I told you, bro. Ball or the
bro,
man. Not both are getting
bro,
past me, bro.
bro.
Not both are getting past me,
Bro,
please.
as a
Please.
football lover,
Mm,
as someone who watches the game, who enjoys the game,
I know
I
you're
just want
you're
to
an
make sure
educated man.
that's properly reflected. Like, it's not every day just talk about United, 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 United. Like, come on, man. Like, do
Mm.
we just want to be just saying the same things over and over
No,
again?
I want to
Like,
say it. I want to say
oh
it.
my gosh.
I want to say
Okay.
it. Bro, you're the biggest club in England. Hey man, we're gonna talk about
Okay.
it. Biggest club in
Okay.
England needs biggest club in England energy, bro.
Oh,
So yeah, let's not get
man.
distracted by all the European talk. Yeah.
Oh
Remember, they
my
did what they had to do. Barcelona did what they
God.
had to do. Let's not focus on all of that. Let's talk about
Guys,
what happened in the Barclays, bro.
as a
Barclays
football
Premier
lover,
League.
for
Uh,
anyone who may ever watch this, who, loves other leagues, who loves to talk about football going on in Europe and the world, just know that I tried.
yeah,
I
no,
tried.
bro.
Okay?
You did. But I'm here
Tried.
representing the rest of the
I tried.
audience.
Okay.
The non-United
I
fan base.
tried.
That's what I'm here to
Yeah.
represent, bro. So yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
This smile, I'm just no, just ignore it, bro. But please, let's get into it. Let's talk about the football. Let's all
Okay.
this not weaving that
You
you're
know
trying to do
what?
to get out of it.
You know
Forget about
what?
it. None of my watch.
You know
None of
what?
my watch.
You
None
know
of my
what?
watch, bro.
Just so we can keep the episode moving, we'll start off
Mm.
with the United game. We will.
Oh.
But
Oh.
but before we
Mm.
do that though, I did actually want to get into a little bit of football trivia.
Okay,
So
talk to me.
I've got a question for you, bro. And this is something that, I may try to incorporate into the episodes like as we move on. So yeah. But yeah. So obviously there was a lot of different goal scorers this weekend.
Mm.
I wanted to ask you if you could name the players that are currently playing in the Premier League that have scored 100+ Premier League goals.
Oh, currently playing in
Yeah,
the Premier League.
currently playing in the Premier League.
100 league goals.
Yeah, 100 Premier League goals or more. Could you
Oh,
name again? Yeah,
I
and
know one of
just
them.
okay, and just a quick disclaimer, just to let everyone know, like I've completely caught Ace off guard as regards to the contents of the question. So he didn't know
Mm,
what I was gonna ask him. So yeah,
mm.
like it's completely
Wait, could I?
unbiased.
I don't know if this is a cheat, but I would be curious to, I guess, ask you how many current players have scored 100 Premier League goals in the Premier League. Could
I
I know
can
that?
give you that. I can give you
Mm,
that. Four.
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 Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool. I got two.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking if I can get the other two. Let me see. 100 Premier League goals. There's okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna go for the 2/3 that I can think of that come to mind, and
Okay.
then you fill me in on who I'm missing. Because I know
Okay.
one of them is definitely Danny Welbeck. Because I think is he not one of them?
Mm-mm.
How many goals?
Mm-mm.
Was he's
Mm-mm.
100? I know he scored 100 goals.
That was his. I
Uh,
think that was his club career goals.
oh, but not
Yeah,
Premier
not
League.
Premier League goals.
Oh,
No.
okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. The
Mhm.
one I know definitely is banked on is definitely Salah.
Yeah,
I know
100%.
Salah's banked
He's
on,
well
so
in
that was
there.
the
Yeah.
one. And then I guess
Mm-hmm.
the one that I wasn't sure about if he scored this many, but I think
Mm-hmm.
out of all the teams I think he might have is I don't know if De Bruyne is one.
Mm-mm.
De Bruyne's not
No.
one. Yeah, I thought that one might be a long shot. Then now it gets a bit
Mm.
sticky about who's actually scored 100 Premier League goals that's currently playing in the Prem.
Think about it, bro. Yeah, think about like think about like those players who have had longevity in the Prem, and think about players who have recently also been in the headlines.
I'm trying to have a quick think. I'm the teams 100 Premier League. Oh, okay. I know Son is going to be another one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's true.
Son is another. And then I'm thinking, who else? Premier League goals. I'm looking at the big teams. I'm not seeing the goal scorers in there right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to need your help, bro. I'm gonna go for Son and Salah as the two that I'm banked that I know of. But yeah, I'm not sure about the other two.
Two of them are correct. The other two are Vardy. Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, I would have never thought about him. Okay.
Jamie Vardy. Like, that's why even last time when I was talking about his career, like it's actually just unbelievable what he's achieved. Because to be able to have done all of that on that Leicester is incredible.
Yeah,
but
have to give him the
Vardy.
respect.
And the other one, Sterling.
Sterling. Okay, cool.
Sterling.
You know what? I'm actually not too mad at myself. I would have never thought about Sterling. Especially if he's XL right now. I would have never thought about him. But
I think a lot of the time, people forget, obviously, obviously Sterling's been in the league since he was very young. Obviously started off like with Liverpool and then obviously moved to City and then Chelsea. So Sterling was the other one.
What, man? But where do you stand on the whole? Where do you stand quickly before you move on the Man City legend? I guess it's hard. We're not Man City fans, but do you think from the outside it's unfair for Man City fans to not consider him a legend? Or do you know what? Stand on that real quick?
I feel like he's done a lot for the club. Like, I mean, you can't deny the stats, but also I think, a lot of the time, football fans, we have this conversation about players who are able to connect with the fans. And for whatever reason, it seems like he's not been able to do that with City. And I've actually heard discussions regarding this topic where people have said that Sterling hasn't really had that connection with a fan base with any of the teams that he's played for. So, like the Liverpool fans, they wouldn't consider him a legend there. Then the City fans, for whatever reason, they wouldn't consider him a legend. And then obviously we're seeing what's going on with Chelsea. So it's really interesting to see the discussion regarding Sterling. But obviously what he's done for City, you cannot deny his contribution to those titles and to those trophies that they won. You can't deny his contribution. But when you see how they speak about him,
they put no respect in his name.
Do you get me? There's not a lot of love there, and I'm not exactly sure why. I think we would need a City fan to come and probably explain as to why the fan base and Sterling doesn't have that connection. But it seems evident that there's a disconnect. So really interesting there. But man. Okay, the time's come. United, Brighton.
Let's get into it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
I guess, bro, you know what? I'm gonna give you the opportunity, as the fan head. Give me your thoughts, because I know the match, as much as I took a lot from me, I'm sure you would have taken much more as a United fan. Thoughts, bro. Lay off your chest, man.
It's really interesting because I think obviously we spoke a lot before the game regarding how the styles may contrast. Are United going to play counter-attacking football? Are Brighton going to dominate the possession? Like, what's going to happen? And in the first half, I feel like where United were struggling was actually like carving out and creating clear-cut chances. Like, I think in the final third, yeah, we weren't really effective. We did have a few openings. So there was the Dallo cross for Ahmad, which, yeah, he should have done better with there. But yeah, like overall, I feel like, yeah, we struggled really to like fashion like think clear cut chances. But as regards to like having the ball, yeah, like we had a good amount of the ball. Like, I don't think Brighton were really like imposing themselves onto the on the game like that. Like, I think, yeah, it was quite comfortable. But then, and we talk about moments in football, we have the moment where, yeah, we switch off. And of course it's Welbeck that scores. Of course he does. Of course he does.
No former United players scored more goals against you than Welbeck.
Yeah, Welbeck is like, as soon as I saw 99 club goals, I said,
it was written in the stars, man.
It don't look
it
good.
Was written, it was written in the stars.
Good. It don't look good at all. But yeah, man. So, but like, yeah, we went into halftime like 1-0 down, and I think, yeah, one of our main problems is that we just weren't able to create enough. Like, I think even with like the runs, like we weren't really incisive. I think there was even, I spoke about chances, I mentioned the Ahmad chance. There was another opportunity when Ahmad played like quite a poor pass to Rashford. I don't know if you remember it. And Rashford also, I think his run, like his run
poor,
wasn't
man.
great.
I think I saw that even if the pass was good,
the pass was, he would have still like, yeah. I saw that as well. So yeah, there was that as well. So yeah, then we get into the second half now, and yeah, Brighton, they start to play, and then yeah, now like United feel much more like under pressure, and if anything, like we then score against the run of play. Like, yeah, where now Ahmad does get his goal. And yeah, then all of a sudden, like the momentum kind of swings with us. And then there's that moment with the Garnacho slash Xerxes goal.
Hilarious, bro. I think that's one of the funniest situations that happened this weekend, bro. I'm
really trying to think, and I've watched football like pretty much all my life, and I don't think I can ever remember a situation like that. Like, I know some people were making comparisons to, like, I don't know if you remember when like Ronaldo.
I remember, bro. When
Portugal,
I've seen the highlights.
Yeah, the Ronaldo and Nani. Yeah, when that happened, but like that was even a little bit different because it was like,
Nani intentionally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Nani should have just left it. Like, do you get me? Nani intentionally. Whereas this one, it was so interesting. Like, because you're just looking at it, and then obviously it's funny because Garnacho runs up and celebrates, and you can look at Xerxes' face, and it's like he knows.
Yeah,
like Xerxes knows. He's that. Oh,
man. This is long.
Like, he knows. Yeah. And yeah, man, I think that's incredibly unlucky. I've seen different people talk about it. Some people have like tried to blame Xerxes, which I don't really understand how you can. I think Xerxes was doing what we actually want him to do. You know, there's been all this talk about the other parts of his game, and obviously we need him to get into the box and try to anticipate actions. And I think that's what he tried to do. And his momentum obviously was carrying him through. And then, yeah, it hits his knee and it goes in. But like, if I was to be really picky, I would actually have said that I think Bruno played like the ball like, across goal for Garnacho, where I think the easier ball was to just lay it off for Xerxes to score in the first place. Like, I think Bruno, yeah, if you watch it again, if you watch the replays again, bro, you'll see like when Bruno plays the ball, like he plays a quick ball, like, do you get me, with a lot of speed, and it goes obviously past Xerxes for Garnacho to get on the end of at the back. But like the easier ball, arguably, is just knocking it across to Xerxes, and then Xerxes has the tap in anyway. But yeah, overall though, the whole situation was just very unlucky. Like, do you get me? I'm not gonna really get into like the whole like intricacies of it was this person's fault or whatever. Like, I think overall it was just an unlucky situation. But yeah, that happens, and then the game
Do
continues.
you put any blame on Garnacho in terms of the finish? In terms of
yeah,
whether...
I've seen some people say that like he should have just like, why is it hitting Xerxes in the first place? Like, do you get me? Like he could have um he could have finished. His finish could have just ensured that this would have been a discussion if he just placed it into the goal, like clearly where Xerxes was nowhere near. Like, do you get, there was enough of the goal to aim at essentially where like this would have been a problem as well. Which, yeah, I understand the argument, but I do also think it is, again, we're nitpicking. Like, do you get me? Like, I think we're nitpicking. Like, what we saw overall was just a very unfortunate and unlucky sequence of events. Like, because even like when I was watching it back, I was even hoping that the ball was already over the line. But yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't already over the line. So
do you
yeah,
wait? So
man.
do you wait? Okay, before we move on, I'm just curious about your
yeah.
thought. Like, do you feel that there was any part of like where it's purely unlucky in terms of it was always going to hit Xerxes, or like Xerxes' instincts as a striker also led him to like knee it in last second, even though he might not have been like fully conscious of what he was doing? Like, where do you stand on that team?
I'm not blaming Xerxes for it, man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like I can't, man, because I think again, like we've spoken about him and we're like, yeah, he needs to get into the box. Like, yeah, we want him to try and anticipate actions, and he slides and his momentum's taking him there. And yeah, man, like, yeah, I can't blame him for it. Like, yeah, it's just really unfortunate. But yeah, I can't blame him for it at all. So yeah. But then obviously the game continues now. And then towards the end of the game, if any team's gonna win it, it's Brighton. Like, they had all the initiative. Like, I think, yeah, United looked tired. Like, we were no longer really a threat on the attack. And yeah, we started to get pinned back towards the end. And then the defending for that winner is absolutely disgraceful. Like, it is I do not know how everyone can just get drawn to one side like that and you leave that amount of space. Like, again, these are typical things. If you can't win a game, don't lose it. Do you get me? At the end of the day, cool. Like, you've got to this point of the game. Maybe you would have wanted all 3 points. If that's not possible, everyone pay attention. Make sure you're being disciplined. Make sure everyone's carrying out their roles. And then, yeah, do you get me? See the game out, 1-1, we move. But no, lack of concentration, concede a cheap goal, and then now all of a sudden you're leaving the game with nothing. And yeah, man, like I think it was so bad. Like, both goals, the defending was so bad, like really, really bad. So yeah, man. And then obviously we've seen all the discourse regarding United again, and it's like, and it's just, it's so annoying. That is actually so annoying. I know you're very happy with it, but yeah,
bro,
it's so annoying.
Yeah, man. There was a lot of content yesterday to catch up on, man.
It's so annoying.
There was so much content.
It's so annoying, man. So annoying. So yeah, man. Like, do you get me? Like, really disappointing result. Yeah, and really frustrating game. And yeah, man. Like, but when you defend like that, then what do you expect? So
you deserve it, man. I'm even surprised you didn't even pause a bit more on the first goal as well.
The first goal was horrible, bro. The first goal defending was horrible, bro. Like, everyone was like, it looked like people were like, just you're not proactive, like you're not ready, you're not anticipating. Like, it was just really bad, man. Really bad. Really bad. Do you get me? So
I guess on that, like something I was kind of thinking is like kind of going backwards a little bit, not even a little bit, going back to the start of the game. Where do you stand on the whole conversation of like, do you feel like Ten Hag got it wrong from the starting 11? Do you have any thoughts on that in terms of like in terms of him starting Maguire again, in terms of I guess Xerxes not starting, But because I think it was some an interesting kind of point. I don't know where you kind of stand on this, bro. Is a question for you that, and again, in the comments below, if you're watching this, you watch this later, please let me know as well. Because I'm always so curious on this, that when a team buys new players, do you feel like, do you support managers who have the mentality of, I'm going to wait until you lose your place? Or do you think managers should be a lot more proactive in terms of, like, I've seen you for the last year plus, I've seen what you've delivered in this team, that regardless of whether you played well in the last game, like, now that I have a player that's better than you, because the reason why I bought this player is because he's better than you, should you be making a proactive change straight away? Or do you think, like, based on how Maguire played in the first game, he needed to make a mistake first before he got dropped for delay? Where do you kind of stand on that? And just in general as well, like, I think it's quite interesting kind of talking point in terms of, like, managers in general, how they approach that.
Yeah. So I'll quickly talk about this game, and I'll say, yeah, I think Maguire, like, and yeah, he did do very well in the first game, but I would have played De Ligt. Like, yeah, I would have brought in De Ligt. I think, generally speaking, I think it depends. So I think if you have a player who has had a loss of form and then they pick up form again, and they are now playing to the heights and capabilities that that they are capable of, then I understand a manager's decision to say, you know what, like, we bought this player because we believe that he will improve our team, but we also have a player who's playing up to the standard which is required for this team. So I'm happy with continuing playing this player until I feel like a change needs to be made. I feel like in a situation where you have a player where he has certain strengths and certain weaknesses, and depending on what the opposition is, depending on what the scenario is, depending on what the game is, those weaknesses can be exposed at any point during the season, and you have a lot of evidence for this. Like, it's not just off a few games, like, you've got a large sample size. Then I feel like you now need to be brave enough to make the necessary decisions that you need to make. And I think in the case of Maguire, I think you've watched Maguire. I think you know where his weaknesses are, you know where his strengths are. And I think in a situation like this, you should have started De Ligt. And I think also, I am not a huge fan of, like, centre backs coming onto the pitch at that stage of the game. Like, do you get me? Like, you have to now catch up to speed with everything that's been going on. Like, you're not winning 3-0, you're not winning 4-0. Like, do you get me? Like, the game is on an edge. I think when you're now trying to bring players on and you're mixing up the defense like that, like, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think that's the best idea. So yeah.
No, I hear it, and I think this is like a very good comment by Unorthodox Change, where he says next game now De Ligt can start, but Liverpool might be a flogging, which it's a very good point, because this is also where I think managers you also have to be making decisions looking on to, like, the future. So I feel like it's kind of similar to, like, again, I don't know the ins and outs why Xerxes, for example, didn't play at all in the Community Shield match. Maybe there's more kind of context, and maybe I guess Ten Hag knows why he didn't play. But kind of, again, with this game, where if you're now bringing De Ligt off the bench again, it's like, if you now throw him into the Liverpool game, it also feels unfair, where you're setting him up for failure in his first kind of start, where this was the game to start him if you have an intention of starting him in that next game against Liverpool, which again is where I think managers can play themselves, where it's all nice saying, Maguire had a good game, I'm going to give him a chance. But if you genuinely have seen this player since he's been here for 2+ years now, you've seen what he's delivered in the United kit over the last like 5 years, 4 or 5. How long has Maguire been there now? Like 4 or 5 years?
For a while, for a while.
Like, you'd say that, like, De Ligt comes in, you tell him, bro, like, you're now third choice, or you're now fourth choice, even when Euro's fit. That's just what it is. But I think you gave him too much rope, and he hanged himself, because that first goal was shambolic defending, man. Like, you want your centre back in those positions to be clearing that ball, and for him to let it bounce, and then to even have a second chance to now save yourself and still fumble again in the second, because he moved away as well when the ball came back in. It was just 2 mistakes in a minute. I was in a couple seconds. I was like, yeah, this is why you're not that guy. But yeah, go on, bro. So what are you gonna say?
Yeah, see, like I'm seeing this comment and saying I would have still played Maguire personally till he stinks, and for me, he wasn't a problem, although he did have some defensive flaws. I think he was part of the problem. Like, yeah, like I think, yeah. And with the comment regarding like everything that you said about like, yeah, the playing against Liverpool now, I think, yeah, you would have wanted him to have already had more minutes before you now go into that game. Like, if you know that this is someone who's going to be like in your plans, then I think you try to put him in. Like, again, don't be, don't be negligent. Do you get me? There's nothing wrong with like easing a player into you. Obviously, you know what his fitness is like. Like, do you get me? You might know what he needs, etc. But yeah, like put him in like with anticipation for the rest of the season. Like, and yeah, like you've got to look at that. But yeah, me, like I think you're looking at it and yeah, Maguire again, like I think I've heard people say this that Maguire as a fourth choice centre back, like that's good. Like, do you get me? But if you know that you've got 3 centre backs ahead of him, and you know that obviously when Euro gets fit, like that's what you're gonna be like basing your defense on, like those 3 players and different combinations with those players, then I feel like yeah, like you've got to start integrating. And yeah, man, like I think me personally, yeah, like I would have played the lit, like I would have put him
Yeah.
there. So
But
yeah,
again, I
especially
think
like
this
you've
is
seen.
go
Sorry,
on,
bro.
sorry.
I was like, also you've seen like Mazarawi come in, and obviously it is a different position. But yeah, like he's come in and he's settled. Do you get me? And he's been putting in performances. So yeah. And also Ten Hag has done it with other players. Like with
But
other players that
he
he's
also
signed.
has done this as well in terms of I saw an interesting comment about because he did something similar with Casemiro when he came in as well, where he
Yeah.
didn't play for the first like what like 5. I don't know how many of you know exactly how many games. I know he
Yeah,
only
yeah,
came
yeah,
in
yeah,
after you
right.
guys lost to City 6-3. Is when
Yeah, yeah,
McTominay finally lost his place because McTominay was playing well. But again,
yeah.
it's that I feel like it's a bit of a cop out from the manager too, where it's like, yeah, this guy that I know ultimately isn't good enough is currently playing well, so I'm not gonna change anything. But it's like, bro, if you have something in your mind, this is how I'm trying to play, this is what I need in this position, then you say, bro, I don't care how good you're playing. You need to concern this player that's coming that's better than you, he's gonna start, and then you need to now show me again why you need to get a chance. Like
Again,
that's
it goes back to the point that I was making that if you have a player who maybe they had a bad run of games, but overall you don't think those bad run of games are reflective of their overall capabilities as a defender, then that's fine because your problem there isn't, you know what, I don't think this player can play to the standards that are necessary throughout the season. I think this player just had a rough patch. Do you get me? That's completely different than, you know what, I've seen this player play multiple times. I know what this player is capable of. I know what this player's strengths are. I know what this player's weaknesses are. Like, there's no debate regarding this. Like, the facts are the facts. We've done the research. We've seen the data. We've seen the performances. When you know that information, then you're kind of waiting for a crisis because eventually those flaws are going to be exposed. Like, they're going to be
you know the
exposed.
question I have for you, bro. Again, this is
Mhm.
still very early, but I want to actually get your take kind of moving forward. My
Yeah.
question is like, do you trust Ten Hag? And why I ask you that question is because, like we
Mhm.
said, like again, a little bit of like, for example, let's say like Scott McTominay.
Mhm.
Obviously, even I think you might have agreed a deal now with Napoli in terms of him going. But obviously, the kind of
Mhm.
talk from what I've heard within United is that Ten Hag doesn't want to actually let him go from like his
Mhm.
point of view. So is that kind of whole that kind of conversation of like we've seen Maguire, we know Maguire ultimately isn't good enough, but I
Mhm.
don't know if maybe Ten Hag also agrees that he's not good enough. Like, so just you as a fan, do you look at your manager? Do you trust like his kind of selection process of the players that he also like wants to build his team around? Where do you kind of stand on that?
I feel like it's very difficult to say that you can fully trust Ten Hag. Like I think, yeah, there's 100% doubts. Like, yeah, I definitely doubt some of his selections. I doubt some of his thinking as regards to like how he's setting up his team. Obviously, he is the manager at the end of the day, but I think part of the reason why a lot of the fans were quite excited about everything that was happening with Ineos is that Ten Hag would have less responsibility. Like, and there's people around him that can help support certain decisions. Yeah, because I think, yeah, when you just leave everything to him, then yeah, it's the data's there. Like, there's been problems, like as regards to signings, as regards to how we've set everything up. Like, do you get me? So yeah, like I think obviously this season's massive for Ten Hag because I think he's been able to address some of the problems that he wanted to get addressed. It still looks like we are going to get Ugarte probably. So that looks like it's probably going to happen. Like his centre backs, he's got two. He got a new fullback. Like obviously Xerxes has come in. So yeah, and obviously prior to that, Mount, that was his signing. Anthony, that was his signing. So yeah, he's been able to build this squad. So ultimately, like yeah, he's now got to deliver. If he doesn't deliver, then we all know what's gonna happen. So yeah, like obviously now we've got Liverpool next. That's a big test. Old Trafford are going to be really pumped. Like, obviously, yeah, like they're our biggest rivals. We know what that game means. Like, so yeah, he needs to get a good result. Like, yeah, he has to. Like, if he doesn't, then yeah, like we don't want to now start getting into like a period where everything starts to get really negative and, just like the whole aura around the club starts to revert kind of back to last season. I know you would want that,
I would
but
love
yeah,
it.
obviously
I would
us
love
as
it. So
United
United,
fans,
see the
we
United
don't want that.
negative kind of cycle when it starts building up. Oh my god, it's ridiculous, bro. Like United is the one club that I know. Like if you guys go on to lose your next game to Liverpool as well. Oh,
Yeah.
I think is it the international break after that as well? Is that after
Yeah, I
Liverpool
think
game?
so.
Or is that
Yeah, I think so after, yeah.
Yeah, it'll get long very, very quickly. I guess kind of like my
Yeah.
kind of I guess final question to you on the game as well was I've
Mhm.
seen in the United kind of fan base this whole point of after the game you have more questions than you have answers in terms of
Mhm.
like in the first half. I agree with you where I think you guys controlled the game from the point of view where you limited Brighton's build up in terms of how
Mhm.
Mount was so integral into how you guys played.
Yeah, with the
Where like
pressing.
you guys was a lot more in control of the match. I would say that.
Mhm.
Then obviously the
Yeah.
second half when he comes off, and obviously you
Mhm.
heard now. I don't know if you have any more information about his injury, whether that is actually an
Mhm.
injury or maybe that was more Ten Hag just saying that because he wanted to bring him off. So even that would now be interesting because obviously the second half was a completely different game compared to the first one without Mount.
Mhm.
So it's like if
Yeah.
Mount is now an integral part of your team, what does that now mean for Bruno, Ahmad, Ugarte when you bring him in? Like, what does that actually mean for your midfield if Mount is
Mainly.
so critical? Like,
Mhm.
in terms of how you guys play. So I don't know if you kind
Yeah.
of agree with that kind of sentiment of what I've seen of just like you're now more confused with what you see from this game in terms of what Ten Hag's great plan is, in terms of how he plans to
Yeah.
make you guys a sustainable team that wins matches.
Yeah, because obviously we've signed Xerxes, we already have Hoyland, so they're two strikers. We've got Bruno, who normally plays in the 10. And obviously this season he started as a false nine. We saw him play that position last season as well at different instances. So I think now we've got a thing where you sound Mount. A lot of United fans were skeptical of the signing, not even just because of like the player and his capabilities, but because of positionally, what is the plan here? Like Bruno, Mount, like they look to occupy similar spaces. So what are you trying to do there? Like, do you get me? And then obviously now you've got a situation where you've still got Casemiro. Obviously, you're going to sign Ugarte. You're trying to gain more control over football matches, but are you going to do that by compromising other positions or like our attacking threat or our forward line? Like, do you get me? So is it a thing where it's just like, you know what, in order for us to have more, because that's what I'll say regarding that first half in Brighton, we looked much more in control. Like it was much less chaotic. Like, do you get me? Like they weren't just like rolling through our midfield, but also attacking wise, we looked quite blunt. Like we looked quite blunt. And I think that's the thing. Like the best teams, they're able to control matches and they've still got the edge. Like when they're approaching the final third, like they're incisive. Like, and I think Ten Hag now, he's trying to find the solution of, you know what, we want to have better control over football matches, but also we want to be more incisive. And we saw that last season, a big problem that we had was scoring goals. And I think now part of our problem is one, like we are lacking someone who's extremely clinical in the final third. Like I think I saw a stat already that like we've already missed the most big chances in the Premier League. Like, and I think, yeah, we need to be because of how we're setting up. Like, I feel like it's one of them ones where when those chances do come about, we need to take them because, like, and I don't know if this makes sense. So follow me, bro. I hope
Okay,
it makes sense.
listen.
I want to articulate this properly, but I think it's one of them ones where, like, sometimes with United, what it seems like is that our attack isn't fluid, but we're gonna create maybe a chance here or there, and it has the feeling of if we don't take it, then we know we're not confident of creating another like a mass amount of chances. Like, do you get me? So it's like with other teams, when I look at, for example, like a City, for example, they Haaland might miss an easy chance, and they're not really worried because they know, like, because of how they play football, because of the structure, the chances are just going to continue to come. I think Arsenal have a similar thing, probably not to the same extent as City, but a similar thing of like, oh, you know what? Havertz misses maybe something that he shouldn't have missed, but there's not that much panic because it's like, oh, well, you know what? Like, how we've played, how we're used to playing, we are going to generate more chances. I think sometimes with United, what happens is that we do have our chances here and there, like, do you get me? But because our attack isn't fluid like how it should be, if we don't take those chances, then we know that things are going to be very difficult. And because a lot of the time we play in phases, we look at it and like, you know what, it was our phase. Like, do you get me? We should have capitalized whilst it was our phase because we don't control the 90 minutes. So it's just like we're looking at it and we're looking at that first half and we're like, yeah, we should have scored one, etc. Because we know Brighton are gonna come at us. Like, we know. Like, do you get me? We're not expecting to control the whole football match. And I feel like that's part of the problem. So like when we're looking at these chances, we're like, oh, we have to score them. And we're probably hoping that we score, the opposition tries to attack us more, and then we can start to pick them off. What the top teams do is that they generate a chance, they might miss the chance, they go again, they score, and they're just going to impose themselves. They're just going to continue to impose themselves, continue to impose themselves. Like the opposition team might even start sitting further and further back, and they'll say, "We don't care. We're just going to impose ourselves and impose ourselves and impose ourselves, and we're just going to." Whereas United, what it tends to be is that we may create a chance, we miss it, we're not clinical, and we're not capable of sustaining that throughout the 90 or sustaining that for a decent portion of the game where, you know, we have fluidity in our attack and there's waves upon waves, and then that phase dies, the opposition now starts to get at us, and then now we're under pressure. Like, do you get me? And I think, yeah, against Brighton, you saw us, we had a chance in the first half, we weren't able to be clinical. Brighton comes out in the second half, they start to impose ourselves, we're able to get a goal, and then momentum shifts. That Xerxes thing happens. Do you get me? Which again was very unfortunate. And then it's just like, like I looked at that, and when that goal got ruled out, I said, yeah, we're in trouble. Like, do you get me? Yeah, like I said, we're in trouble because, like, I just know my team and we're not there yet. Like, other teams will use that as a sign of encouragement to say, you know what? So unlucky. Let's go. Like, do you get me? We're gonna go again. That's what we're gonna do. Like, do you get me? Just like, fam, like City, they're gonna smell blood. They're gonna say, you lot got away with one there, you know. We're coming back.
Bro.
We're coming right back. We are coming right
bro,
back.
See the type of team that you score against them, and then you know that it might not work out in your best interest, bro.
We'll
you
get
getting
onto
that goal might get long.
Exactly. We'll get onto that. But you're looking at it and it's just like, like Arsenal, again, I think they've developed that over the seasons where it's just like, oh, they missed a chance. And then they're like, oh, like you're looking at it and Arsenal, they're looking at it and they're saying, oh, you know what, unlucky, we're going again. Like, do you get me? We're going again, we're going again, we're going again, we're going again. Whereas I think with United, a lot of the time the feeling is that we missed the chance and it's just like,
oh shit,
that was it. Because we're not confident that we're capable of replicating those moments consistently. Like, do you get me? Like, we're not confident of that. Again, what they called us moments FC. Like, do you get me? Like, we're not confident that, oh, you know what, we've got attacking patterns of play which are sustainable throughout the game where we know we're going to continue to generate chances. So it's very interesting because I feel like, yes, United need to be more clinical, and yes, we have had big chances which we have missed already in this season, but also when we kind of look at the fluidity of our attack, there's still problems there structurally, which means that, you know what, we're not consistently generating enough opportunities or stretching opposition defenses where we can rely upon our system to think, you know what, we missed that, but we're coming again. Like, do you get me? We're coming again, we're coming again, we're coming again. So, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, it does. But you know why it makes complete sense to me? Because again, I think this is the issue of, I think, how United play in general, where I think when you play the kind of football where you, like, even the way Ten Hag kind of sets you guys up with this whole, like, it feels like a big part of the game is you pressing and just like getting, like, making the opposition making mistakes, and then you then capitalizing and then you then get a goal. I feel like it's like you play the type of football where it's also very dependent on like the opponent making mistakes, where it's like you Onana gets the ball, he kicks it long, and then you guys then try press to get the ball back up high up the pitch. But instead of you guys actually building up from the back, the way like a City or Arsenal will, where it's like you kind of put matters into your own hands, where it's like if the build-up makes sense, it's going to result in a goal. Whereas with United, it's like you kick it long, and then it's like, cool, we now press them, then we can get a goal. Like, does that, I think that kind of distinction in how you play is a big part of the issue.
Bro, and this will be my final point on this game, and then we'll move on to the next. But I think off the back of that point, I think a good example of kind of just everything that I've been saying and what you just said to kind of sum it up is actually our game against Fulham. So if you look in the Fulham game, like, United had the clearer chances there. I think Bruno had two. I think there was one from Mount, and then obviously there was the one at the end with the Garnacho miss. Do you get me? But I think there was still the feeling, and obviously some rival fans, they're just going to be hating on United generally, but there was still the feeling of like, oh, we're not fully in control. Like, do you get me? Or like, you know, sometimes where's a thing where it's just like people forget, like, well, United actually had those chances. Like, do you get me? And it's funny because even though Fulham didn't have those chances, you saw the opportunities in the transition and etc. And I think the reason why, again, you're looking at United and you're thinking, like, why does it not feel like, I've even seen post Fergie, like, the amount of times like we've even won the game, like, let's say like a 3-0, and then you look at it and you're just like, how was that 3-0? Like, do you get me? Like, I didn't seem like a 3-0 game. Like, do you get me? And I think it's one of them ones because it's the moments, but also it's just, like, when you look at teams who have got an organized attack, who have got an organized system, like, the system's going to be pulling opposition defenses left. They're going to be pulling them right. You're going to feel the constant waves. You're going to feel the momentum. You're going to say, oh, you know what? They're generating. And I feel like United, our attack is not there. Like, we're disorganized. And I think we've had so much problems in our midfield. Ten Hag is currently trying to solve it. So obviously you have Mount there who's pressing, and then you have Bruno playing the false nine. But then also, that also makes our attack also even less fluid than it already is. So it's just like everything seems just like he's trying to sort out one problem, but by trying to sort out one problem, he's also making another problem even worse. Do you get me? And until we're able to structurally, like, say, you know what, this is kind of, and obviously it's the second game of the season, so this is for him to figure out. But you need to find a way of saying, you know what, we are just not going to be so open where attacks can just run through our midfield like anything, and we're so disorganized. But we are also not just going to like have to, anytime we want any sort of control over the match, we're gonna have to compromise people's positions, and we're gonna have to try and pack the midfield. Like, I feel like that's all right for certain games, like cool, like do you get me? You want to tactically set up for certain games in Europe, like in cup finals, okay, do you get me? But generally throughout the season, like, you've got to find a way of like, you know what, we're gonna have control, and we are going to have dynamism in our attack. We are going to constantly be a threat. Like, do you get me? Like, it shouldn't just be we have control, but we're toothless. Like, we're just there. Like, we're just passing. Like, do you get me? For the sake of passing. But you know what? At least we're not under threat. Like, do you get me? At least we're not under threat. Yeah, like, at least we're not under threat. So I feel like, yeah, United, we've got a lot of problems. Like, systematically, we're still trying to learn how to play as a team. And yeah, I think what Wendy said here hit the nail on the head. United always feels like a group of individuals rather than a team. And yeah, man, like, I think that's our problem. Like, do you get me? We need to rely on a system, not on players digging us out of trouble. Like, do you get me? Or moments. Like, because there are moments where you're looking at it. Like, for example, the disallowed goal, like, that was a good move. Like, do you get me?
Yeah, it
like,
was.
Ahmad had the ball, like, he spotted the overlap, I think, from Bruno, lays it off, thingy, just like fluid. Do you get me? But that needs to be consistent. Like, do you get me? You need to be looking at it and saying, cool, you know what? We are gonna have waves. This player's going here, that player's going there. Like, we need to have chemistry in those attacking areas. And I think currently, yeah, man, like, it's I can talk about this all day.
Yeah, no,
so it's just
I know, bro.
But, yeah,
I know.
Yeah, United, we've got Liverpool next. We need to do better. We need to get a result. Like, do you get me? Like, fam, again, it's like what the biggest game of our season. Like, we know what that fixture means to us. Do you get it? And yeah, man, Slot, obviously, we'll talk about it a little bit. 2 wins out of 2. They're gonna be coming over to Old Trafford confident. Yeah, man, we've got to disrupt that. So yeah, man. But
before we quickly
bro.
move on, I wanted to just give Brighton a shout out as well, man, because yeah, them two, they were brave, played on the halfway line. Even you guys, like, kind of linking on to what you're saying, they were also very susceptible. Where if you guys actually just timed your runs and you weren't just being caught offside every time, like Rashford in that, Rashford was offside twice in one move, bro. I was like, how do you get caught offside twice in one move? Poor. So yeah, so the offside thing was crazy. So yeah, shout out to Brighton because it worked out for them in the end, where like you guys didn't punish them. They were brave. João Pedro, he was bullying you guys in that game, man. So yeah, he had a very good game. Adringa as well, when he came on, he's a player that I really rate, and yeah, I could see the second goal where he was patient, picked out Pedro in the back post, and he punished. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly not ignore Brighton in this as well, because I think overall, it wasn't those games where you come out of it thinking United were horrible today. It was quite 50-50 in the first half. I think in the second half, Brighton just said, yeah, we're gonna take this game away from you. And ultimately, I think they deserve to win based on the second half. So I just wanted to kind of like add that in before we move on from that game, just to give them their shout out too. And yeah, Danny Wobbs as well. 100th goal. Brighton. They did what they needed to do, man. Even Baleba, when he came on as well, like, I can't lie, he was giving Manu a problem. Like, yes, another one too, where just in general, I feel like a lot of the United kind of attacking players didn't have their greatest game. And this is final point in United, where I also think, kind of like linking on to what you're saying about like structurally, the interesting thing I was thinking about, like football-wise too, I guess like managers and tactics, is like you want players who naturally, like, you kind of feed into their strengths. So an example of that is like Casemiro. His whole career at United, Madrid, was he was a ball winner. It's like he got the ball and he passed the ball to more techie men who did the damage. Whereas at United, I'm seeing him be the player in the dangerous positions where he's the guy who's trying to time the run, trying to pick out the pass for the player who's running through, or he's the guy who the ball's rolling out to and he needs to finish it outside the box. So it's like, even if you replace him with Ugarte, I also don't think Ugarte is the player that you want in those positions either. So it's structurally, how do you make sure that the best opportunities are falling into place who are more dangerous in those positions is what Ten Hag needs to also figure out, or just like a general point where, like, just how you play in general is something that he needs to understand, work out. Because, yeah, you also don't want the ball fall into these players in those positions either. You want Bruno to be the guy that the ball's falling to outside the box, like he's the guy that's coming onto it. Or you want Rashford to be, like, you want the players that have the strengths to be the ones that are more often in those positions to damage. Whereas if you're giving it to like a Casemiro, then that's like 9 times out of 10, no fault, not because he's not trying, he's just not gonna have the technique to pull off those critical moments in the game. So I think that's just something else that just tactically Ten Hag needs to pattern up going into the future games, or something I was thinking of. But yeah, man. So shout out to Brighton as well, man. They did what they needed to do. They were positive. They also could have said, yes, United, let's take the point and let's understand everyone's happy. But they said, no, we want to win this game. And they won in the end. So I just wanted to say that before we move on from Brighton. And definitely have to shout out João Pedro and Welbeck and the rest of their team. They did a very good job in terms of nullifying you guys.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, you got to give Brighton their credit. I think, again, towards the end, they definitely were going for the win. Like, if there was one team that looked like they were going to win it towards the end, then it was Brighton. So, definitely got to give them their dues. But just finally on United, I think, structurally, Ten Hag's just got to figure it out. Like, that's his job to figure out. And I think sometimes it's like, with Ten Hag, he does also get caught up with those moments. So, for example, talking about like last season, the Garnacho moment at the Emirates, like, do you get me? And like, okay, if this happened, then it could have been different. If this happened, it could have been different. But also, that's what I was saying, that I think you need to create a system where, like, you're not just relying on isolated moments. Of course, there are going to be games where it's just like, oh, you know what? You don't play the greatest. It's very difficult and you just need a moment to break a team down. And you take those games for what they are. But I think over the course of the season, you want to be seeing patterns of play where things look fluid. And patterns of play doesn't even necessarily mean, oh, you know what? You had this big chance. Because like you mentioned prior, you can have a big chance from an error from the opposition. Like, do you get me? You might have a big chance from a set piece. Like, do you get me? Like, big chances doesn't mean that your attack is necessarily fluid. And I think that's the mistake sometimes people make. Like, they see these things and they're like, oh, you know what? Like, they missed this big chance and they missed that big chance. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, like, you've developed the patterns of play that are necessary to progress as a football club. So, United need to get better. Again, I've been quite critical, but at the same time, it is the second game of the season. So, he's got time to try and figure it out. But, like, United's a big job. And, the pressure will start to mount if things don't turn around soon. But, talking about Ten Hag, another manager who, we've spoken about his need to deliver this season is your manager, Mr. Arteta. And man, big result at Villa Park. Obviously, they did the double over you last season. And that's a big 3 points. And I think someone even mentioned it that, it's early in the season, but it feels like one of those, like, in April type of games. Like, do you get me? Like, those big ones where you were just able to get over the line, even though it is the second game of the season. And I think that's probably because of how difficult you found Aston Villa as an opposition, and how Emery has been able to, like, get the better of Arteta. So big win for you, big win. I obviously have my thoughts, but you know what? I'm gonna let you, because I'm very curious to hear what your thoughts were on the game. So
Okay.
yeah.
I guess kind of starting off, yeah. The managers are actually such massive liars, man. Like they asked this Arteta guy point blank, is Timber, is he ready to start the match? Is he fit enough? He said no. He had a little knock in preseason. He's not ready to start. Only to see this guy in the starting lineup in the following day. So that just made me laugh.
He learned from Pep, bro.
Bro, like you can't trust these man. You can't trust these man when you ask them questions. So yeah, that was a bit surprising, but it was definitely the move I wanted to see him make. Because like we've been saying, man, Zinchenko, his limitations are in these bigger games. If you're playing them against a winger that's dangerous, he's susceptible. So playing a Timber or a Calafiori now that we have two, that's gonna be massive in these kind of games where we know that they have a guy that we need to be worried about. So I was quite happy with the starting lineup. Timber coming in for Zinchenko to kind of just start that off. But yeah, overall, I would probably say, because again, I think why you probably want to hear my thought is, again, I'm gonna always keep it kind of honest and my genuine opinion. It was definitely a game that I think if I wanted to summarize it in the shortest words possible, I would say Watkins lost them that match and Trossard won us the match. And like why I say that is obviously they made two very good chances off the back of. I guess the first one was a mistake by Gabriel, got caught, and then Rodgers, who we need to talk about as well, because I've been seeing his name kind of go. Yeah, I've been seeing his name go viral because he's a problem. Because he was just running for our midfield like they were nobody's business, making Partey look like Uncle Plantain, like I was talking about. But
man said year 6 against the year 4s,
bro. Like the physically, I've never seen a guy have Rice going in and out. Yeah, it was long. It was long.
We'll talk about it.
He put it on a plate for Watkins. Definitely should have finished. I think I saw a replay of it that he kind of stumbled before he hit the ball. So that was a really poor miss by him. Like he definitely should have put them ahead. And then obviously the second half, they didn't have the other big chance that comes off the back of a deflection, hits the crossbar, falls to Watkins again. And I could not, when you're watching the game, bro, it's like, oh yeah, we're 1-0 down. You just see Raya stand back up and make that save. Off the back of last game as well, when, like I said, I think when we were 1-0 against Wolves, he also made a very big save in that game too, which you always hear managers say how, sometimes your goalkeeper can save you points. I think this was a game
win you points.
Win you points. Yeah, your keeper can win you points. And Raya won us the points in this game with that save that he made from Watkins. Watkins should have scored. Like the keeper shouldn't have a chance with that header. He should be putting that right in the corner. He didn't do I think it was one of them ones where he just thought, this is a goal. So he was a bit more casual with the header. And Raya said he shouldn't have been that casual. So he came and plucked that out of the goal. So he kept us in the game. And then Trossard came on and he said, Arteta, Martinelli, you want to invest in these stocks? Sell your shares. Sell your shares, bro.
Bro, these Martinelli conversations,
they're scary, but I can't lie. As a Martinelli investor, I have to say that right now the shares are looking. They've never been lower, bro. The shares have never been low. But
it's early.
I know as an investor as well, bro. That it's when it's when everything looks low. That's when you want to invest, because that's when you make money. So I'm not ready to sell my shares in yet. I know there's an agenda against him. People also doing a bit too much, I feel like. I don't think he's as poor as people have also been making it out. I think we have a good team, and he's been the weakest link in the attack in a good team. So it's like he's a player that everyone is hyper focusing on. Like, but I don't think he's also as bad personally as everyone is making it out. I don't think he had as bad a game as everyone is making out that he had. I think he should have done better, especially when Cash came off, and obviously he had to give a debut to the new young fullback that they brought in. So I say he should have definitely punished him a lot more, being the more experienced player. He definitely should have done more against him. But again, I think it's still early. Any investment. So when he said any investment in negative Nelly will end up in a loss, mark my words. No worries. We'll talk about this. You got a whole season to go by, innit? So when Marino comes in, that's when if Marino comes in and he's still not looking good, then I'm gonna have to sell at a loss. But as of right now, I'm banking on a bit more of a structural change, and he'll be the Martinelli that we saw a couple of seasons ago. Because he's still young. Ultimately, he's still 22. So it's not. I don't think it's done for him yet. But Trossard has definitely put a lot more pressure on him now again. Where he said, Arteta, I know you might want to invest in these stocks, but I'm right here, and I'm a guaranteed investment. I've been talking to people about Trossard being our best finisher. I remember at some point people have doubted that conversation, but this guy in front of the goal, he's cash money, man. Like his finishing is actually
Bro,
elite.
remember when
Both
you
feet.
I remember us like I remember even like the man them having that conversation regarding
Yeah, we
best
spoken about
finisher.
it.
Yeah, finisher. Yeah, but yeah, no, Trossard is man, he's clean. Like
Bro,
he's
in front
clean.
of goal, I'll give him that,
Yeah,
man. Like I think
he's
he's
clean.
them players that when the opposition is a bit when like we have more the ball and they're more camped in, I think that's where you want him having touches in the opposition boxes. That's when he's dangerous. But I think it's when the game is a bit more even and you need someone to break away with pace. That's where I think he struggles a bit. But I can't say not anything about this game. He came on and he showed Arteta that right now Martinelli has to earn his way back in. Because right now Trossard is looking like he's knocking on the door saying, I should be the guy that started. So I have to give him credit. Yeah, he came on and he was the difference in this game. Villa, they had their chances, they didn't finish it. And again, with these kind of elite clubs, it's the margins. Watkins was a bit less sharp, had no preseason. That could be a factor. Understand? He didn't do what he needed to do. Trossard came on and he buried. Understand? I think that was his first touch of the game. Was that goal? Came on, first goal, first touch, and buried it. So yeah, I'd say great goal by him. And then second goal, like again, very good play with Odegaard, Ben White leaving the ball, Saka putting the ball back in. Then very good finish by Partey. So ultimately I think it's one of them games that it could have very easily gone the other way if Villa had finished their chances initially, but they didn't, and we punished them. So ultimately, it's a very good win for us. We knew coming to this game that this was going to be a very tough match. Like I've said, if we get through these next, I think our first 5 games of the season, and we're still like top or near the top of the league, I think my confidence in terms of us actually winning the league this year is gonna really skyrocket. Because we have a very hard start to the season, and next week we have Brighton at home, and that's a game where watching your game, I'd like to think that we have the guile that if they come and again play that high line, we will pick them up. Like there's enough there of a weakness where we can capitalize on it with our players at home as well. So I'm getting more confident like as these games are going on. I think this was a game that I thought could definitely be a potential banana skin based on how dangerous Villa are. But I think we passed the test in the end. And ultimately we got the 3 points. So very, very happy about that. I think. And then shout out to Saliba as well. Like with that recovery run and tackle, ridiculous play, man. That guy is wild. Actually had one of the best center backs in the world right now playing for Arsenal. Like, and it's actually I didn't think I would say that in my post growing up and seeing us be in the slums with the Mustafis and the Socrateses and all these men that were just out here, the David Luizes out here tripping people up when they're running through and goal. To now have a guy that's actually recovering like that, man, I can't complain. And it was a really good performance in the end. And I think it was I think Villa probably had the clear-cut chances to finish the game off, but they didn't finish it. And then you keep us in the game. We took our chances. So ultimately, I think we deserved it in the end. But I don't know what your thoughts in the game were, bro.
I think that's actually a very fair analysis. I think Arsenal in the first half, I think there was that good opportunity from Saka where Martinez made a very good save. Like I don't know if you remember it, where Saka cut in and then tried to place it into the far corner, and then Martinez made a good save.
I'll probably say even the second party goal. I feel like that was really a Martinez mistake.
He should have done much better with that. He should have done much better with that.
But that first one, he definitely did well.
You would expect him to do much better with that. But like Villa, I think they had the chances. So obviously, we have to talk about the 2 Watkins chances. The first one is horrible. It's just it's really bad, man. Like it's really, really bad. Like Watkins should be burying that. And Rodgers, even the pass was fine. Like you can't blame the pass. Like it was there for you to do the job. And man, like you fumbled. And like Watkins knows that he should be burying that, and Watkins is a better player than that. And then with the other chance, where Raya made the save, I've seen a lot of things said regarding the save, and it was like have to give full credit for him for the save, like great save. But at the same time, Raya should never have the opportunity to be making that save. That should be a goal. Like, it just quite simply should be a goal. And I think, again, Watkins will know that he should have buried that as well. So, yeah. And yeah, from there, like, Trossard came on and clinical. And yeah, we've seen what Trossard is capable of, man. Like, his finishing is great. Like, he comes on and yeah, he's really putting pressure on Martinelli regarding that spot in the starting lineup, because I think Trossard will feel like he should be starting. And I think now, the fans may be feeling the same thing. And ultimately, Arteta may have to start making the necessary changes, because Trossard's coming on and he's doing the business. Like, what, last season, double figures, prem goals, like he's had a good output, and he's really doing the job. So like, you get the job done. And I think this actually is a good chance, before I talk about like things more like with the overall picture. I think it is a good chance to quickly just give Rodgers a little bit of praise, because that guy, like,
Bro,
hey man,
bro,
that guy, he was
bro.
moving to you lot, bro. Like,
Oh
he was,
my goodness.
what?
Oh
He
my
was,
goodness.
yeah, man. Like,
You know what it is? The one
he
thing
had
I'll
that
give
man in the
the one thing I'll give Arsenal
blender.
right now, bro. The one thing I'll give Arsenal right now that I think we've kind of
Mhm.
gained since obviously post Wenger was, I think we
Mm.
used to be seen as a team that was like quite slight, as technical as we were, is that you could
Mhm.
bully us physically. And
Yeah.
Arteta has definitely built a physical specimen of a team where you look at like the Rices, understand that happen in terms of like their sizes and understand. But this guy was having Rice, Partey, looking like Partey. Yeah, I expect that one. But Rice is the one that shocked me, bro. I'm seeing Rice running backwards, not knowing what to do with this Rodgers guy. Like, so no, he needs a lot of credit, because he was
Great
tearing
signing,
us,
man.
tearing
Great
us
signing.
apart, bro. I think guy's
Great
like a
signing.
5 mil asset on FPO as well, you know.
No,
So
bro, I had him from the start, bro.
Oh, did
I
you actually
knew,
bring
bro.
him in?
Bro, I had him from the start, bro. Like, I
Ah,
had him from the start. Like, I had Rodgers from the start. Like, do you get me? You can ask, Unorthodox Change can confirm that I've been talking about Rodgers. Like, I've been giving Rodgers his praise. Like, do you get me? Like, he's a player. Like, he's actually a
he was
player.
nasty still. He
He's
was
actually a
nasty. So
player.
I'm definitely invested in his kind of storyline this season, because I've never seen.
Yeah.
It's like you said, bro. It's actually like year sixes versus year fours, and it was shocking to see
Bro.
him just running through our midfield. I was
Just
like,
moving,
not
man.
right,
Just
not right,
just
not
moving, man.
Declan.
But them man
Oh,
are trying
mate.
to just get off of me, bro. Like,
Bro,
just get off
Partey,
of me,
oh
man.
my
Get
god,
off
bro.
of
The
me,
way he
bro.
pushed him to the floor,
What?
I said, oh
Get
god.
off of me. Hey, man.
Oh my
Like, nah.
goodness.
He put in a performance, and
And
like,
also I was even gonna say, because I think even the last game I was talking about, I don't know about Tielemans. Yeah, he was playing very well as well. I mean, I think the Villa midfield in general played really well, man. Onana,
bro.
Tielemans, like they had a very good
And
performance.
also Kamara as well, when he fits into that as well, because I really like him. Like, he's a good player. Like, Villa, man. Like, that midfield is making sense.
Yeah,
That
no,
midfield is making a lot of sense. Midfield is making a lot of sense. So
It's probably what they probably need to figure out is what they do with McGinn. Because McGinn is such a key player for them, and him on the left wing. I don't know about that as a long-term strategy.
He tends to do that sometimes, whereas like he would put McGinn there, but he's not playing as like a winger. Like, do you get me? But like, he moves him. But I think Emery likes to be very tactically flexible in it. So it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward. But that's my phrase again. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see, man. So you know what it is. The interesting to see should phase out as the season goes on.
Oh yeah, we would have seen
sample size. Yeah, because we would have seen.
we would have seen.
We would have seen. Do you get me?
It's
so
true.
yeah. So, but Arsenal, I think bottom line is that you went to Villa Park and you got the win, and that's a massive win, because at this stage of the season you don't want to be dropping points, and that's definitely a game where you potentially could have been dropped points, and it's a game where like you struggled in the past, and I think just mentally to kind of get over that hurdle, to go to Villa Park to get the win. Now you're back at the Emirates against Brighton. nice start to the season, man. So I think that will do the players the world of good. I think it will fill a lot of the players with confidence. And yeah, man, like solid. Like, do you get me? And yeah, like we can talk about if Watkins scored those chances, then different game and etc. And yeah, that is true. That has been acknowledged. But also, yeah, like it shows a certain quality in the side to be able to draw for someone like Trossard from the bench to say, you know what, we need something different. We need someone who can make an impact in this game. And for him to come do that, and for you guys to take the initiative and yeah, make sure that you leave with the 3 points. Yeah, man. Credit to Arsenal.
Yeah, like you're saying, like when you said earlier, did you guys see Zinchenko feeding on the bench? And yeah, I think Trossard was the same as well. And like Arteta said after the game, that bro, like when you have a good squad, sometimes you might be on the bench. You have to then when you come on, then come show me why you should be starting. And I think Trossard has done more than enough.
Trossard's celebration was cold as well, man. I just looked. Saliba's like, do your thing, bro. Trossard's like, wait, man. Trossard's like, wait, man. Let me just
don't rush it.
Trossard said, don't rush me. I said, don't rush me.
Yeah, that was cold.
I need to send the message quick. I said, let me just send the message. I was looking, I said, Arteta, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You see, Brighton, hey, I best be starting. He said, no, you dare try that again. I said, you know what I'm on. You know what I'm on.
Facts. Yeah, no, it was
Shout out Trossard. And just generally, I think that was a brilliant bit of business.
Trossard, man.
Yeah, the Trossard signing, brilliant bit of business. Like,
to be fair, we've done that a few times where, like, when we haven't got our first target, obviously the first target actually was Mudryk. Well, in hindsight now, we thank God. We thank God, because it's looking low for him at Chelsea right now, which we'll get to. But yeah, getting Trossard in for like less than 30 mil was fantastic business, man. Like, I was shocked that more teams weren't trying to go in for him, because you could see the quality was always there. Maybe there was a bit more about attitude at Brighton. Maybe he felt like he was a bit too, I don't know, the ins and outs of like his time at Brighton. But fantastic signing, man. He's definitely the type of older, experienced player you want to bring into your team, where he's still at a good age, where you're letting these other guys coming up until you perform better than me. I'm still the main guy here, and that's what he showed in this game. So fair play to him, man. Fair play to him.
Shout out Trossard still. Like, you definitely need those type of players, like when you're going for titles. So yeah, man. Overall,
and also shout out to Benny Blanco as well, man. When this McGinn guy try to kick the ball at Saliba,
he was ready.
Bro, he said, "Don't do that shit around me. Don't do that shit around me." So yeah, I have to shout him out real quick as well, man. My guy.
Yeah, man. But yeah, overall, man. Yeah, that game was just annoying, man. Because I said, you know what, like. Me and Ace, we started this thing together, and I said it would be only right if we both experience losses for the first time. And then Watkins does that, and I said, man, like,
listen, I was, something else I was thinking about. Yeah, it's so nice that you come into this. I guess like recording our thoughts, that you can go back and see like your thoughts before the game as well, and see what you're saying. So it's actually nice. Like, I guess this journey. And especially nice when I know Arsenal win and United don't. I've been bouncing coming to the stream, bro. Bouncing.
Yeah, man.
Bouncing,
I could imagine.
Long may it continue.
Long
may it continue.
Fam,
so I know the haters are lining up.
Fam, Wendy, I was ready. I said, you know what? Brighton have lost. I mean, United have lost to Brighton. But I said, what? Arsenal Villa Park? All right, cool. And then literally the chance fell to Watkins. I couldn't believe it. I said, you're trolling. And then obviously I said, you're trolling, man. I said, what's going on? I said, these man watch TwoUpFront. They want me to be sad. They want me to be sad. Like, but yeah, man. But yeah, good win for Arsenal, man. Credit where credit's due. Like I said, like at this stage of the season, you want to get the 3 points. So yeah, man. Damn. When? What? What? Hey, you don't even want to know what I had prepared. What? The agendas that were about to be agendering. Oh my days.
Thank him.
What?
Thank him.
Oh, bro. But yeah, man. It's all right. It's all right still. So yeah. But yeah, man. Move. Actually, just to quickly check, bro. Anything more to say regarding Arsenal? Anything more you want to
Regarding
say?
Arsenal, nah, I think we touched on everything. I think we touched on everything. Happy with
All right,
that.
cool, man. I hope you lot lose for the rest of the season. But
Hey, it's
yeah,
so good, man.
swiftly.
Another W next week.
Damn. Hey, man. Please let that be able to be clipped, man. Please.
Another
Brighton.
W.
Brighton.
Hey, man,
Brighton.
you
Rise.
heard me. I saw enough.
Rise.
I saw
Brighton.
enough. I'm
Rise.
confident.
Please,
I'm
man.
confident.
No,
We're gonna win that. It's so good.
Damn.
It's so good.
But
This
yeah.
is not the Zabby's Brighton, bro. I'm
Oh
safe.
gosh.
I'm safe.
Damn. But yeah, bro. Moving on. I think it'll be good to talk about Spurs. Obviously we spoke about Tottenham and their result with Leicester, and yeah, like how they didn't take their chances, and Leicester got back into the game. I think it's fair to say that that didn't happen in this instance. Yep, 4-0, very comprehensive. Yeah, Spurs done their thing, and I think it'll be very nice to have a conversation about Son, because I know you've had some like opinions regarding Son and like him this season, and like his position, like and whether he'll be able to sustain kind of what he's done previously. But obviously now, like we've seen Solanke has had like a little injury, so he's out for a bit. Son's come into the team. I say come into the team. He was already in the team, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's basically taken the initiative, and obviously he was able to get the 2 goals. And I think it will be interesting to hear your thoughts regarding how do you think Solanke and Son would work when they're both back? Because obviously this is Son without Solanke, and how do you think they will be able to like work together well? Like, or do you think you do still have your doubts? Do you still think that will be problematic?
Again, man, they're gonna call me a hater. They're gonna call me
Hey,
a hater.
man,
But
speak your truth, man.
I have to say that I think in terms of this game, like I think Son was like amazing. Like I don't have any issues with Son right now in terms of him as a center forward. My question with Son is still when he's being asked to hug the touchline as a winger. And I think again that's where it comes down to. It comes down to tactics with Ange. If Ange looks at Son and says Son is an inside forward, and even with Solanke, we say Udogie, please overlap and let Son be an inside forward, then there's no issues here. I think Son will have a good season. But if it's still Son, hug the touchline and be the winger, that's where I have more questions. And obviously that wasn't really answered in this game because he was playing up front, and inside he did very well up front. So I think right now I still need to actually see him with Solanke back in the team and how Ange asks Son to play before I can more confidently say whether he still has it more than maybe I think he does as a winger. So I would say that's probably my kind of initial thought on that question. I don't know what you think, whether are you as like do you agree with me, or do you think maybe I'm being too strong in terms of some limitations of being like an out and out winger in this system? Or do you think you can still do it? Or do you think what's your take on that? Actually, I'm quite curious about that.
I feel like obviously previously your delivery has just been extra sharp because you support Arsenal and you hate Spurs. But as regards to the point that you're making, I've always said it. I think Son as a finisher, like I actually think sometimes he even gets underrated. Like left foot, right foot, like man, like Son does his thing. I think that's why also so many Arsenal fans were so frustrated last season when he went through a goal against City, and then obviously he didn't put it away because
they're trying to tell me that he didn't miss it on purpose. Like, come on, okay, come on.
Because we know a lot of the time, when Son's in that position, cash money,
bro. So step over, shot. That's it, bro. He didn't do none of that. He didn't drop no step over in that move. So
and with like what Wendy's saying, Son will always score goals because he's just too clinical. His worst season and he got 10 Prem goals and 15 goals all comps. Can't remember the last time certain strikers have seen those numbers. But like Son does his thing when he's in front of goal. But as regards to him being a winger, I think there's limitations there. Like there is limitations there. And I think like when Son is getting on the end of chances, like, yeah, we know what he's capable of. But yeah, him as a winger, and you want him to now beat players, and you want him to dribble. I think that's where there are problems. And a lot of discussions have been had regarding, you know, Son's best position now at this stage of his career, whether it's like, you know what, you want to see him centrally, like, or if he still is effective enough to play off the left. And I think sometimes with Spurs, what you saw happen is that Son was very good centrally when there was space in behind. But sometimes when he faced like a low block last season, he did struggle. And I think, to your point, as regards to him being an inside forward, like maybe playing off the left, but he's closer to goal and you have a fullback overlapping him, that might help him a lot because, again, he doesn't need to be central. He's not trying to like pin up centre backs. He can still make those runs, like bending runs, trying to get through on goal, but his position's a bit more difficult to pick up. And then he's still generating, or he's still getting on the end of those chances that you want to see Son getting on the end of. You want to see Son getting on the end of, and yeah, like from there, hopefully you're wishing that he can thrive. So if you have Son, I mean, if you have Solanke rather as your centre forward, and you have Son, like, yeah, kind of like as that inside forward, like coming in, then I feel like, yeah, that can work. I think, but I agree with you as regards to if you want him to be that touchline winger where you're having him too wide and you want him to now beat players, then that's where it's going to be difficult. Because again, like one of Son's best assets is his finishing. Like, do you get me? So you want to utilize that. Like, do you get me?
I think that is his best
asset. Spurs do not have the luxury of having loads of great finishers. Like, do you get me? Like, so the one guy that you know is reliable and will be able to do his thing, who's proved it season after season after season. Do you get me? You want him to be in those positions as often as possible. Then, bro, obviously, if you can
like
get,
I was saying
sorry, bro,
earlier,
just quickly,
with
if you can also get Solanke there and he's reliable as well, then now, do you get me? You're looking at it thinking, all right, cool. You know what? We've got output from two different sources, which is reliable, similar to like obviously when Kane was there. Like, do you get me? You know Kane's gonna get his numbers, you know he's gonna do his thing, you know Son's gonna do his thing, and you know they're also gonna help each other. You saw the amount of assists between the two. Do you get me? So yeah, you want to find a way of Son not being isolated on the touchline. You want him to be getting to as close to his goal as possible, but you also want Solanke to be effective in that forward role, and you don't want to have him compromised. So yeah, it's for Ange to figure out. But I think some of the criticisms that you have made regarding, you know, like his positioning and where he would be most effective, I think they are valid. I think sometimes, yeah, it's just, you know, you hate Spurs, so your delivery is just a bit better.
Yeah, bro, I try to be objective, but there's only so much I can do in it. There's only so much I can do. But yes, it's something like I was saying like earlier about Casemiro, where it's like, again with Son, like I feel like as a manager, your job should be to put players in a position where their best assets are most, like they're most prevalent in the key positions. Where it's all nice having like your play style, but if your play style means that this key player is playing in a way that makes him a lot less effective, then like, are you really a good manager? In my opinion, like I feel like part of that is just looking at what you have and putting him in a position to succeed. So again, that's why I kind of think of Son, where it's like, yeah, his best asset is him coming onto a shot, like getting opportunities to finish. Like that is his best asset. If you're telling him to be a touchline winger and beat his man, I think that's where it starts. You're not putting him in the right position to be the most dangerous. So again, like you said, that's what Ange needs to figure out. That's his job, innit? That's what he gets paid for. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes throughout the season when Solanke comes back in. But he adapts his role slightly, like to fit what Son is good at. So
But yeah, overall, man, great win for Spurs. I want to give a quick shout out to Van der Ven. Did you see that assist?
Oh, the run, Van der Ven is a baller. We haven't doubted Van der Ven, man. Van der Ven is a serious.
That's why why I was defending him when I was saying, you know what, like, fam, you guys need to allow his hamstring. Like, do you get me?
But even in that game, there was a couple moments where he went down. I was thinking, who?
Yeah, man. Like, do you get me? Because I feel like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Obviously, you want to play like a risky system. I get it, but also like don't overly rely on him bailing you out like when you are playing that high line. But yeah, like he's a good player, man. Like Van der Ven, I think, yeah, like he's
Hey,
proven that.
while we're shouting out players, man, I have to say that clearly having your lung capacity at full, your lungs not being clogged with balloons. Clearly, that makes a big difference, isn't it?
Oh, you're
Because that
talking
Basuma
about.
goal was a banger as well,
Oh,
man. So
it
I have to
was a
shout him
great
out
goal.
too.
It
I think
was
he
a
actually had a
great
good
goal.
game as well. So yeah,
It was a
clearly,
great goal.
maybe he needed to be called out by Ange a bit sooner.
Yeah.
Even Ange said, I'm gonna have to ban him next week again. I'll let him come back. Clearly, he's making an impact. So yeah, I had to give him a bit of credit.
This is a big season for him as well because
massive season for him.
He's got to step up. So
massive. Now, even last summer, I was hearing some of their fans say that, hey, maybe if an offer comes in, we might be willing to sell. So he needs to like start making himself a valuable asset again for Spurs. And yeah, shout out to Kulu as well. Again, that system of Kulu and Maddison in the middle. Again, I think against like an Everton, because I think Unorthodox Change said this too, where like don't forget while they played good, it was Everton. Everton were also very, very stinky. I think we also have to add that in as well. Where like again, part of why they're also part of a threat to go down is these men are really struggling. Like I think 14 players they had to pick from. Like it's looking very scary for them right now about Bramford being fit. So and Kulu, I think for the Basuma goal, I think he like really good feet from him. I think he does look a lot better when he plays centrally compared to when he plays in the wing now. So I think again in these like smaller games where Spurs are gonna dominate the ball and there's not much of a threat, I think him and Maddison in the middle makes sense. It's in the bigger games, I'm not sure if you can run that. So we'll kind of see how that goes in the next game. I think next game against Newcastle is again another kind of game where we need to see how Ange approaches it going to Newcastle. Like they're not Everton. So yeah, I think that's when I'll start building more confidence in Spurs in terms of that, whether they really turn a corner. Because Everton are stinking. But I have to give them their credit. Like they destroyed them. And win at the end. So destroyed them.
No. I think Everton, they've had a bad start to the season. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a tough one for them, a real tough one. I mean, Dyche, like we know what he's capable of, but he's got a lot of work to do with that team because this is gonna be a difficult season for them, it's looking like. And Wendy here just said, Basuma starting the season well isn't a shock, but let's see if he can keep doing it for the whole season. And man, he needs consistency. I think that's the thing. Like he needs consistency. Like you've seen like the qualities that he has. Like, do you get me? Like a lot of the time, like towards the earlier parts of last season, you saw his ability to break the press. Do you get me? And to like carry and like you can see when he's confident and like he's in form. Like he can be a really good player, but like he really fell off last season afterwards. Like, and Spurs can't afford for that to happen. So it will be really good for them if he can just continue in good form, and hopefully no more incidents. But quickly moving on to a result that I think we all expected, but we probably didn't expect the start, which is City and Ipswich. I think obviously last episode we spoke about, do we think it's just going to be an absolute battering, or do we think it's going to be one of those games where it's like, City, they do what they need to do, and it's not like Ipswich leave with some respect. Like, do you get me? And at the beginning, we all saw Ipswich go and score, and we said, wow. Like, and then I think it all hit us that, we
it's
know
too
what's
long. I feel like in these kind of games,
too early.
Bro, in these kind of games, it actually is a massive thing of you don't want to score too early too. You don't want to piss them off. Like you don't want them to have time to punish you for even having the audacity to even try come and attack. Instead of you to respect yourself and just slow block it and try and leave with a respectable 0-0, you actually try to attack us. These bigger teams, they punish you. They punish you.
You're angered. And I was saying this with City. I think we saw this at times last season as well. Is that I think sometimes, like they do actually just get really complacent, and it's like sometimes they just need that to happen to just kick them into gear. Like, and yeah, like the response to them going a goal down was rapid. Like they said, "All right, cool, it's time to
But even
handle
on that quickly, man, Edison's on
it."
watch this season, man. I've seen
Mhm,
from like even like the first couple games. I don't know if it maybe the Saudi movie is a bit more that's like convinced
yeah,
that maybe he's letting out because even the goal, I was like, bro, how you letting that just roll through your legs like that? As one of the
yeah,
best keepers in the league, he's a bit
mm,
susceptible. So even the Chelsea game, he was looking like he was
mm,
trying to keep them in the game for as long as possible. I just making
mhm,
some funny movements. So yeah, he's one
mhm,
to watch this season in terms of his like motivation and concentration. Like,
yeah,
because yeah, even the goal is just I think it was poor keeping in the end to just allow that to roll through your legs like that. Like, and I
yeah,
don't. I think he did that a few times last season too, where it's like you're just giving these oppositions a bit. You're making it a bit too easy for them. Like
mhm,
a bit too easy for them. So I just wanted to say that like he's one that I'm definitely looking at in terms
yeah,
of does this guy really still want to be in? I think he's won it all, man. Like he's tired. I'm sure he just
mhm,
wants to go Saudi, earn his 500 bags a week, and call it a night. But obviously, they couldn't agree that they were C's. That's why he's still here. So that's one
mm,
to keep an eye on.
yeah. But yeah, generally, I think yeah, City they came back, done their thing. Like Haaland, yeah, he looks so sharp this season. I think he's had like a full preseason. Like he's fit. Like he didn't go Euros, and it's funny because people called last season like a down season, and he still got 27 Prem goals. I think in 31 Prem appearances. So yeah, man, that's his down season, and now he's already what 4-2. And so
Yeah.
yeah, man, like
Bro,
yeah,
I saw
you
something
know
that he
what he's
hasn't
done.
scored. I think August is his favorite month. This guy scored
Mm,
more goals in August than any other month of the
yeah, man,
season, which is ridiculous.
he's
Ridiculous.
there.
Uh,
He's there. And yeah, just even kind of reinforcing the point that you're making about Edison is that yeah, like I think there is eyes on him because I remember even before, just very quickly on that, I'll touch on it. But I remember before, like Edison and Allison used to be much more of a conversation, and then it just came to the point where it's just like, nah, Allison's clear, like yeah, like
yeah,
Allison's just better. Like, do you get
yeah.
me? It's not a is it Edison or Allison? Allison's just better. Like, do you get
Mm-mm.
me? Like,
It's
yeah,
that again. It's that
Edison
whole thing with
great with
stats,
the
in it,
ball
like
of his feet.
stats compared to when you watch the matches, where you're like,
Yeah,
I've seen you both like last man, and you have to do something. And Allison is a lot more cash money than Edison in those
yeah.
positions. Edison is
Mm-hmm.
saved by the fact that C will dominate the game anyway. But obviously, where
Mm-hmm.
Edison is elite is he's not saying like he's a passing ability. That's where
Mm-hmm.
he's ridiculous. But yeah, when it comes to
Yeah,
actually shot stopping, yeah, Edison is definitely not as good as you think he is
Allison. Yeah.
based on City's numbers. Because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when you actually get through on goal, he's very susceptible.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
yeah, no.
overall, because yeah, I'm conscious of the time, so yeah, I don't want
Mm.
to take too long. But yeah, City, they got the business done. Like, yeah, like Ipswich again. I think Ipswich could, like, they can look into that result and say, you know what, we were probably expecting to lose at the Etihad, but like, I think it's one of them moments where it might even benefit them just getting that game out of the way so early in the season, and then now you can kind of just move on with your season. And yeah, like, do you get me? They had a goal, like, but ultimately, you know, they're facing the best team in the country.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
man.
fair play to them as well, man. 3-1 at halftime. It could have been a lot worse. It
Yeah,
ended
like it could have
4-1 in
been
the
a
end.
drug.
Yeah.
I know people
Yeah.
who had triple captain Haaland were thinking, rah, he might get 6. Do you get me? So ultimately, yeah, it could have been much worse. It could have been much, much worse. So yeah. And Liverpool, obviously, it was Slot's first home game playing at Anfield. And yeah, man, you saw Salah still doing what Salah does. We spoke about Salah last week. And again, man, like the way he's adapted his game, like we spoke about Son recently as regards to him not being that touchline winger that can beat loads of players and etc. And I think Salah has realized his own limitations in that regard. But one thing he knows is that, yeah, like I will finish off chances. I'm very intelligent as regards to the spaces that I pick up in the pitch. And yeah, like he knows what it is that he needs to do to still be effective for Liverpool. And yeah, he's still proving it this season. The first goal, like that counter attack was brilliant. Like, do you get me? Like that, it reminded me of like prime United, like, do you get me? Like Rooney, Ronaldo, like that's what we were doing. Like, do you get me? Like, yeah, just one end to the other, boom. Like, and yeah, Diaz as well. Like, I'm sure the Liverpool fans will be wanting to see more of that, like conviction in his finishing, like, because I think it's funny because when it comes to the dribbling and getting past players, that's something that he's capable of, but his decision making
No
sometimes,
spice.
yeah, do you get me? It's not there. So yeah, like I think obviously good win for Liverpool, 2 out of 2. It's going to be really interesting to see if they do make that signing in midfield. I saw like obviously Gravenberch like being used, like, and I think that is really it's. I'm actually a little bit surprised, a little bit like with like the lack of minutes for Endo. But yeah, like, but it seems that yeah, like Slot's kind of got his favorites as regards to what he prefers in that midfield. And yeah, man, currently, like I think Liverpool, they actually don't look, and obviously it's a very small sample size, but they don't look that different from like Klopp's Liverpool. Like, yeah, like the Salah's still being Salah, Trent still being Trent. Like, even as regards to how they're playing, like, there's not like dramatic major differences. And I think Slot even mentioned about like, yeah, he was able to inherit like a good team. Like, obviously Klopp, and a lot of people speak about Fergie when he left and the team that was left for Moyes to inherit. And I think Klopp has actually done a good job of, yeah, there are some players who, you know, they are getting on a bit as regards to age, but they've still got like a good solid foundation to work from. And I think, yeah, Slot's benefiting from that. But yeah, bro, what were your thoughts on the game and just Liverpool in general?
Yeah, I think you said most of everything I was gonna say. Like football, like I guess like because in my notes I thought, Liverpool looked susceptible from set pieces. I think just before they had I think they had a corner and Brentford counter-attack, and then like a minute later, Brentford had the set piece and Liverpool counter-attack and scored the Diaz. I was like, football can actually harm me very very quickly because the same set piece they look susceptible from, they destroyed Brentford in the counter. So. Like, yeah, very good finish by Diaz as well. Just smashed it past the keeper. Overall, I think, yeah, very comfortable home win. I think Brentford are one of those awkward teams that you can give them a bit of confidence. They can be quite dangerous in the break. But yeah, Liverpool snuffed out everything that they threw forward. Konate and Van Dijk had a very good game. Like, they didn't really give them any good chances. So yeah, very comfortable home win for Liverpool. The only interesting thing, I don't know if you saw after the game, Slot took off Trent, there was a little bit of like I think Slot was trying to speak to him, explain maybe why he took him off, and Trent looked like he wasn't trying to hear it. So that might be a little interesting one to kind of see. I think Trent's thinking, you know, my dad,
Madrid?
you're not Trent, you know, bro. I didn't say it. I didn't say it, but I'm just saying, he looked a bit unsettled. That's what I'm saying. A little bit unsettled.
Jude's been speaking to him.
Hey man, what I'm saying is, he might be learning Spanish. That's all.
Oh, damn.
That's all. So yes, that was a bit of a little funny interaction. But yeah, overall, yeah, solid game. I don't think there's really much more to add. I think you kind of said it.
Nice. And yeah, just to go through a couple of the other results. So West Ham, they got a good win at Palace. It's funny, you know, because obviously, even just quickly talking about fantasy, I know a lot of people have Eze in their fantasy teams. And yeah, man, like he's really trying and he's been really close. Do you get me? In both games to scoring. And I just think with Palace, it's just not clicked yet. Like, yeah, with their attack and stuff. Obviously, they finished last season with a lot of momentum. Elise is now gone. And yeah, things haven't quite clicked yet. And with West Ham, I think obviously they had the first day result with Villa, which they would have been a bit disappointed to lose. They bounced back well and they've started to, you know, put the pieces together. I saw Wamba. Did you see Wan-Bissaka in the build up? Wan-Bissaka, my fullback.
Hey, he said, "You guys, what? I'm not good going forward." Yeah, he was cooking in that game.
My fullback, yeah, man. So yeah, and then. Yeah, really good. And then, yeah, man, I think West Ham, they just got reliable players like
Bowen. Oh, that finish was
Yeah, man.
And again, it's kind of like you were saying. I think because Palace actually had very good chances as well, and yeah, it's just not. It's not going for Eze right now. I don't know if you've seen that the agendas start swirling. I'm seeing people try to use Mason Mount clips to discredit Eze, saying that about Big Brother Elise, about Elise to hold his hand. He's not delivering. So hey, man,
man, it's fine margins, man. Very fine margins.
That's what I mean, bro.
Like the free kick, then obviously the bar, So I think they've got Chelsea next. So yeah,
that should be a good game, actually.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good game. So yeah. And then I actually just realized we didn't speak about Chelsea, did we?
Yeah, no, I was thinking,
oh my gosh! Oh my days! You know what it is?
I thought you were leaving that to last or something.
You know what it is, guys. You know what happened? I wanted to focus on the important things this weekend. Chelsea, talk about Real Madrid, etc. And Ace was insistent that we talk about United.
Don't try to put this on me, bro.
He was insistent that we talk about United. I know you guys are all bored. I know they're all bored of hearing about United. Do you get me?
Bro, we can't wait for that Liverpool match. I speak for the audience. So you can't wait for that match.
Hey, man, we'll see. We'll see. I know a lot of people have said that with the City FA Cup final. They said that when we drew Liverpool in the FA Cup, they said that last year at home in the Prem, they said that. So yeah, man, we'll see, man. Bro. We'll see. Hey, I'm just saying the facts. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying the facts, bro. I'm not even giving an opinion. I'm saying the facts. Do you get me?
I'm just checking, man.
Do you get me? Like, yeah, because Liverpool both games last season. Liverpool didn't beat us last season. Do you get me?
No, you know what, bro? Thursday. We'll get into it. I'm like,
we'll talk. Bro, do you get me? Do you get it? So I'm just saying the facts. But yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, what a crazy game. Like, what a crazy game. And bro, I said this about Chelsea. I feel like there's absolute chaos with everything going on regarding the signings, and then you've seen stuff with Sterling, and then there was the Gallagher saga, and then you've got Chilwell, and then you've got Chalobah, and everything that's going on, and Maresca just coming in the press conferences, just speaking as freely as he wants. And but I did say that amongst all of that, Chelsea have some good players, and they've got some good pieces in that team. And if they can find a way to make things work, then they will cause a lot of teams trouble. They still, in my opinion, definitely do need that clinical striker. Like, they definitely do. And I think, like Lavia is someone that they would want to see, like, be a mainstay in that midfield as well. But
man, uncomfortable conversations. To have Lavia in that midfield, then Enzo, uncomfortable conversations.
They're talking about. They're also talking about not even just Enzo, bro. They're talking about Caicedo, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People are talking about him, bro. They're talking about him.
Okay, I haven't heard that discourse.
They're talking about him. They're talking about him. So but it's they're gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, man, like, for you to have enough depth where you could bring on Neto, you can bring on João Felix, and you can bring on Nkunku from the bench, then the team must be decent. Like, do you get me? If those are your bench options, it must be decent. And yeah, man, obviously, I think it's only right that we talk about Madueke. I'm sure you saw everything that happened with the Instagram, and bro.
That guy, he's such a character. I feel like Madueke is actually such a character.
Did you see his post match?
Yeah, he said,
post-match on the interview. It's like, he was smiling. He said, "Oh, anyone that I offended, I didn't mean it. I'm sure it's a great place."
People said, I know he's doubling down on that private story. The story that he was meant to initially post on, I know he's speaking recklessly on there. Like, that guy, that was PR. That response was all PR.
Gosh, man.
All PR. You can tell that he's
for you to say that about a City and then score a hat trick against them is crazy. Like that
Yeah.
is crazy, absolutely crazy. So
No,
yeah,
fair play to him, man.
shout out Madueke. Yeah. No, 100%. Because I think like there's a lot of competition for places in like those spots, and yeah, like a performance like today, that's gonna probably fill him with a lot of confidence, and it's going to fill Maresca with a lot of confidence. And yeah, man, he's going to be trying to force his way into that starting X1 because, yeah, like you've seen the players there, Neto, like in Cuckoo, obviously Palmer's going to be playing. But yeah, man, they've got a lot of competition for places there. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Still use my word.
Interesting to see. Yeah.
Interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see like how often Maresca rotates and what his go-to starting 11 will be. But yeah, because yeah, Jao Felix again, he's someone who like fam, a few years ago, like, do you get me? Like, we were all talking about him, like, bruh, this is someone who's got serious potential. And yeah, like, he went to Atletico Madrid, the move hadn't really worked out, etc. He's had these loan spells, and he's still relatively quite young. So it's like, yeah, like, it's going to be. I think he's probably going to maybe be a little bit relieved that, okay, you know what, like the transfer has been made. Like, let me get my head down and just, like, actually
Yeah,
just
because bro, you
focus
know
on
what,
playing
football
football.
wise too, man. Like
Yeah.
that Atletico move, I've never seen a move so unanimously across like the football fan kind of like general opinion that it wasn't a good
That's
move
not where
anyway.
you go, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
like
that's
as an
not a
attacking
player
player.
like you. A
Yeah,
player like you, that's just not where you. That's not. Yeah, it wasn't the move for him. Like, do you get me?
nah, I
And you
was.
know
And
what it is
again,
in a,
go on,
sorry,
sorry.
bro. Like, I think in a team like Atletico as well, it's like
Mm.
they've got their way of playing, they've got their formula, and they've got like they had like for example like they've selected someone like Griezmann, for example, over the years to be kind of that player who's creating and thing. And they're not the team that are gonna have multiple players doing that. Like, do you get it? Like, they're not gonna have multiple players just saying, "Hey guys,
Bro, they need dog work players,
yeah,
bro. Just
man, do
out
you get
here,
me?
dog
Yeah, do you
work.
get it? Like they'll have, and then yeah, they might have a player there where it's just like, okay, you can be our spark. Like, do you get me? Like, yeah, and then you obviously they've always Atletico have had a great history of having like strikers who just are clinical and know how to put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, I think yeah, that move it just wasn't the one. It's going to be really interesting to see in this Chelsea team how he performs. So yeah, but yeah, Chelsea. I think Wendy says it here. Chelsea have a lot of very good players. It's annoying, and they do like. And I think even bro, even like towards the back end of last season, I think I remember us even having a conversation about Chelsea, and I was saying, I was like, for as chaotic as everything is, they do actually have good players, and yeah, like if you can figure it out, then they actually could start doing something. So
Mm.
yeah, like, do you get me? So yeah, man. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I guess kind of like you were saying about the up the blues. What's it called? Kind of like you were saying about the whole I guess like yeah, Madueke, and yeah, I think right now this is the kind of performance I just write your name on the starting 11 in it. Like I think the player that needs to be very very scared, worried post this game is Mudryk, because I think he's the one that is probably out of the lineup. Because like you're saying with like Neto Beans coming off the bench, he's gonna be a starter for them, and now Madueke is looking like he might be their starting winger. So how he gets back into the team is probably where the conversations are. But yeah, Madueke, like very, very good game. This guy scored he scored a hat trick, basically scoring like the same goal 3 times. Like
Yeah,
there's probably a
bro.
conversation that needs to be had about
Replica.
Nori. Oh, bro,
Oh,
no, Nori's defending in that second half was shambolic. We're talking about shambolic defending. Like, so again, I guess kind of quick overview about overview of the game. I say first half it was definitely a lot more 50-50, where
100%.
it was
Wolves were a big threat.
big threat. Like I think Chelsea reminded me a bit of how they played against what's it called? What's the team in Scotland? Celtic. When they played the Celtic game and that game when they ended up getting destroyed, it was like this, but obviously they didn't finish their chances in that match. Whereas this one they got their goals. Where again, I'm still gonna be curious about how Chelsea approach the rest of the season. Where obviously we all kind of expected Maresca to come in and play this slow possession style football, but they were playing a lot more of this erratic kind of like end-to-end football today, where it worked out in the end because I think Wolves also kind of fell into it where I felt like Wolves are going to respect Chelsea a bit more and just try sit back more and hit them on the counter, but they'll really go in machine for machine. And ultimately, like Wendy said, and like you said, Chelsea, whatever you want to say about how your club is ran, what the owners are doing, they have quality. They have quality players. And if you give these quality players the same chance that you're giving the Wolves players, as good as their players are as well, I think Chelsea are always going to come out on top in that type of game. So I think the first half, it was end-to-end. It was looking like, ooh, where is this going to end? Wolves probably looked a bit more like the team that might actually go on and as being the home team, maybe capitalize. But then in the second half, it's like Wolves just collapsed and Chelsea took full advantage. And then it just became how many goals are Chelsea going to score in this game? Like bringing on like a Felix off the bench, bringing up an Nkunku, bringing on Neto. Yeah, it was long for Wolves at that point, man. Like they couldn't compare to what Chelsea had coming off the bench to change
too much firepower.
Too much firepower, man. Too much firepower. So yeah, no, you have to give Chelsea the credit. I'm surprised that people were talking about Caicedo. I didn't actually think Caicedo had a bad game today. I think Enzo's a player that I thought maybe there'll be a lot more comfortable conversations because I think Chelsea's midfield in general seemed very lightweight. And again, getting the credit, they got the win, they scored the goals. But in terms of sustainable football, they need to be a lot more solid. And I would assume to be more solid, Lavia needs to come into that team. And I would be surprised if Caicedo was the player that he drops. Yeah, but I'll be surprised if Caicedo was the one that drops that.
You know what? I think it's going to be one of them ones where we are going to now look at Maresca and see, do you actually have a plan? Because you've made Enzo captain or vice captain. Do you get me? Obviously, Reece James, but yeah, you've made him vice captain. And obviously, a lot of people disagreed with that decision just from like an outside the club perspective. And yeah, like we don't know the ins and outs of the dressing room and whether people are questioning that decision like within the dressing room. But if you made him your vice captain, then like you're probably expecting that he's going to be playing the majority of the games. So yeah, I think from that perspective, it's going to be one of them ones where, like Maresca, do you have a plan for your midfield here? Like, do you get me? Who's going to move out? Because you made someone the vice captain. Do you get me? You've got someone like Lavia, who, yeah, obviously is still early days, but we saw his potential before he joined. And yeah, like we're already looking at him thinking, yeah, he's someone that needs to come into the team. And then, yeah, you've got Caicedo there as well. And yeah, we're gonna soon find out like what Maresca's plan is because he's got all of these different players. You've got to now make it work. You've got to make it work. Do you get me? You spoke about how, the media are talking about how we've got 40 plus players and these players, they're not like, I'm not dealing with 40 plus players. I'm dealing with, what was it, 2021? Okay, well, with those players, let's see what you're doing then. Let's see what you're doing.
And how you're going to deal with it. Because even like an Nkunku, for him to like, again, the long season, we'll see how he kind of balances that between the giving enough minutes to Nkunku, to João Felix. There's so many players now that how you keep them all happy. It's really very interesting to see. But yeah, on this game, Chelsea, good performance in the second half, destroyed them. We didn't even talk on the goals at all, but that Palmer finish.
Finish is nasty, man. That guy's such a finish. He's a baller, man. He's a baller, man. He's a baller. He's a baller. I said it. I said take away the stats, take away the penalties, take away just the eye test.
Yeah, he passes flying colours.
Flying colours. Flying colours. Forget, take away all of that other stuff. Just watch him, baller. So yeah, man. And yeah, he's back up and running for the season as well. What one goal?
And also, like we were saying too, why like the Neto signing was one of the signings where people are like, oh, okay, this is the kind of signing that we have to start rating Chelsea more. Even like the ball he put across to John Felix when he came away. I think those are the kind of that's the kind of wing play where like, bro, just intelligent wing play. The ball was so perfect. He said it was kind of like it was similar to the pass like Kudu gave to Bissouma for the finish. Those ones where you just roll it into them and you say do the rest. And both players did the rest, didn't it? So yeah, I have to shout him out too. He's gonna be a serious problem this season too. So yeah,
bro. There's one last thing I want to talk about with this game, and we'll probably talk about it properly on Thursday, but I want to mention it. But you see in Cuckoo and FPL, hey,
it's scary. It's scary. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Very scared.
Oh man, bro.
After fun, no, I'm very scared.
I said what? What? Oh gosh, hey man,
bro. Yeah, I don't know how he gets back into this team. Yeah,
we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, like hey man, it's you know what it is. Many people were. So yeah, man, we're gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, bro. Just very quickly, just touching on a few of the other results. Obviously, Fulham, your boy, Emil Smith-Rowe, obviously gets his goal. They get the win. Oh, two of your boys actually.
Oh, I was about to say, don't forget about him.
Yeah, it won't be two of your boys. Two of your boys. So yeah, man, that you get me. That's a nice result from them. And
very nice.
Yeah, like
and I love their signings too, like the Sanderberg and who else? They've also announced recently too for them. Who's the second signing? I know
Anderson.
Anderson, yeah. I think Anderson. I'm not sure if Anderson played. I know Sanderberg didn't play. If I remember correctly. Yeah, so even them coming into will help Fulham out a lot. So yeah, I'm very invested in Fulham's story this season, man. We got our boys, you know, we still got what's his name? Nketiah for sale. They want a third one, you know. Clearly that we're giving them good business in it. So I'm just saying, because Molineux, he's looking a bit smelly right now too. So if they need a new striker to compete for those positions, hey, come talk to us, man. We'll give you a good deal.
I just hope when they face you, he dunks in you. That's all I'm
saying. Alright, but I know he's gonna go against you at least, so I know.
Hey man, hey, we faced Fulham already, bro. One more game to go. Bro. So we'll see. We'll see them at the cottage. Yeah, we'll still see them. We'll see them at Craven Cottage. We'll see what they're saying. But yeah, man. So obviously, we had that. Forest got a result against Southampton, and I think like we've spoken about like the relegation battle this season. And I think that's like a big result for Forest and Southampton. Yeah, life in the Premier League, it's gonna be tough, man. Like obviously they had the game against Newcastle on the first day, and you know Newcastle going down to 10 men, and they had a lot of possession. They weren't able to get over the line, and obviously another defeat here. And like I think they would have known the Premier League would be difficult. But they are soon going to have to start picking up results. So still very early on, but and I think that's a good win for Forest. Like they would have wanted to get those points on the table. Like, do you get me? Extra 3 points. Like, so that helps them. Like, do you get me? Like, they could like after the first game they can build on that. And now their return after 2 games, not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. You definitely can't sniff at 4 points from 2 if you're Forest. So man, that's a good result for them. So and then obviously, bro, you know what I realized there?
What happened?
You see, with football, it's funny because I think sometimes you can very easily just get like muddled up, because I was even just like thinking, you know what, it's gonna be good this season. Obviously, we've got the Prem, we've got the League Cup, got the FA Cup, and then like I was thinking about like the Europa League. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm grateful we're in the Europa League. Like, do you get me? Obviously, you guys are in the Champions League. It could have been much worse for us. Like, do you get me? So I'm happy that we won the FA Cup and we ended up with some silverware. And yeah, the result of that was us being in the Europa League. But like, I want to very quickly talk about, and Chelsea fans, please don't take offense to this, but I want to talk about the Conference League very quickly.
Okay.
And I've just got a very quick question for you, yeah? I've got two questions, in fact. If you were a Chelsea fan, would you be like desperate to win it? Like, would your mentality be, we have to win it? And also, if you were in the Conference League, which, yeah, none of us see that happening at any time soon. But if you were in the Conference League, what would be your approach to it?
Oh no, you have to win it. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Like I think you have to win it because you're looking at the teams that are in the competition. You look at Chelsea's 1 billion again. I know I won't even go into it, man. Because I just want to stop talking. Because with Chelsea, I feel like Chelsea get away with it. Because if it was Arsenal or United that had spent 1.5 billion in the last few years, and we're talking about what Chelsea have to win the Conference League. It's not even about what's their approach; they have to win it. So yeah, if they don't win it, it'll be ridiculous. So yeah, that's my answer to your question. Where compared to the squad, the quality of their team, their squad, compared to the rest of the teams in that competition, they have to win it. So yeah, that's my take. And and again, I think if any of our teams are in it, I think last year I know Tottenham were in it. Was it last year Tottenham were in it, or was it a couple of seasons ago where I think they had to like leave?
That had, was it
for the COVID or something? So yeah, if that's the case, then there's nothing you can do about that. But if you're playing the match and you actually get knocked out to a Sabet or these other men that are in the competition, don't tune into this stream because it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all. So that's what I'll say about the Conference League. I don't know what you think about it.
I hear you. Yeah, nah. If I'm a Chelsea fan, then I'm going into it saying, you know what, this isn't the ideal situation for us. We wouldn't ideally be in the Conference League, but we are. Do you get me? We are, and we've got to win it. It's that simple. Like that would be my mentality towards it. Like, yeah. So
any loss is upset. There's no team in that. Loss is not a major upset. So please be guided. Be guided. So yeah, that's my energy on that. I don't know if I'm clear. So that's the expectation for Chelsea in that competition, bro.
I hear you. I just wanted to quickly ask that because I was even just looking at like the future like fixtures. Obviously soon like the draws will happen for like, you know, Champions League, Europa League, etc. And I was just thinking, right, Conference League. Crazy, man. Like, yeah.
I didn't watch that game too, but apparently, yes, I bet it was a bit, the first half was very uncomfortable for Chelsea. So, thankfully for them, they left with a 2-0 win before they go away. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that competition too. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, it will be interesting to see. So yeah. But yeah, bro, do you have any thoughts, any last things that you want to say regarding this weekend and the Premier League action that we have seen?
I would nothing today. I think that's all until Thursday. I think there should be some interesting matches next week as well. So it'll be good to get into that. But yeah, as of today, I think we've covered most of the main talking points for this weekend.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, man, I think obviously you forced me to talk about United, so we did that. Do you get me? So yeah,
cool.
Man.
Next week.
Do you get me? Hey, man, carry on clapping your hands, rubbing your hands, whatever, bruv. Do you get me? Hey, the same way people are getting ready to cook us the FA Cup final, etc. Do you get me? We'll see. You know what it is? I need to. I'm trying to get tickets to the game.
Oh, Liverpool
game. Yeah, man. I'm trying to get tickets. Yeah, I'm trying to. So yeah.
I hope you're there.
But yeah, man. You hope I'm there, bro. Remember when I've got Old Trafford, bro. United don't lose, bro. You best hope I'm not there. Best hope I'm not there, bro. So yeah, man. But yeah, hey, we'll end the stream on that. We'll be back on Thursday for a Premier League preview. Obviously, we'll get into FPL as well. I know a couple of you like you're eager to discuss that. So yeah, man. But yeah, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, and once again, want to thank everyone who's tuned in, like who's left comments, who's engaged, who's like watched for 1 minute, who's watched for 1 hour, who's watched for the whole stream. Like, yeah, man. Again, always appreciate the support, always appreciate the engagement, always appreciate you lot taking your time out of your day to hear us talk about football. So yeah, man, again, really thankful. And hope everyone has a great week. Bank holiday Monday as well. Hope everyone, hey man, enjoys the extra day if you're able to enjoy the extra day. If you are working, I hope work goes well. Like, do you get me? Hope everyone stays refreshed as possible. Like, do you get me? I know life can be life in for all of us, but yeah, man, like wishing everyone the best. And yeah, man, hope everyone has a strong week. And we'll see you guys. Ace, do you have anything else to say?
Nah, bro, you put it all perfectly. And yeah, again, thanks to everyone who's tuned in. And yeah, let us know what your thoughts are on this episode. Until Thursday.
Hey, man. Hey, this guy's smiling way too much, man. Hey,
I'm so happy.
I can't wait.
It's been a beautiful weekend.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. The day is gonna come. Your day's coming, bro. Your day will come. Guys, remember this energy. Do you get me? Because when that day comes, oh gosh, smoky settings. But
until then.
Hey, look at this guy. Anyway, hey, peace out, everyone, man. Have a blessed week. See ya.